You are what you eat, literally. Your body is made up of the molecules that you consume. So maybe that's why we're so particular about our diets. Food doesn't just sustain us, it defines us. Morally, culturally, biologically. Today, most of us think that a balanced diet is the ideal. But plenty of popular diets proudly break those rules. You may have heard of them, maybe you've even tried one yourself. Take carnivore, for example. No plants whatsoever, just meat, fat, and maybe a little bit of dairy. It sounds extreme, but it actually has ancient roots. The Inuit people of the Arctic survived for centuries off raw seal, whale, and fish. Practically no carbs or plants at all. Their bodies adapted to this high-fat, protein-rich diet, and maybe yours could too. In 1906, an explorer by the name of Vilhjalmur Stefansson set off into the Canadian Arctic. He was young, curious, and completely unprepared. So of course, he ended up getting stranded. But instead of dying, he did something very un-Western. He listened. The local Inuit people took him in, and he did what few explorers ever dared to do. He ate what they ate. No bread, no fruit, and no vegetables. Just whale blubber, raw fish, seal meat, and caribou. And guess what? He got healthier. Stefansson ended up living this way for years, and when he came back to civilization, he claimed that carbs were completely unnecessary. He claimed that humans could live perfectly well, if not better, on a diet entirely of fat and protein. At first, nobody believed him, so he volunteered to live in a hospital and eat only meat for an entire year. And the results? No scurvy, no deficiencies, just a lot of confused nutritionists. But this diet is not just for cold climate survival. The Maasai in Tanzania traditionally subsist off of cow blood, milk, and meat, with little to no vegetables. It turns out humans can thrive without a single piece of salad. But on the flip side, vegans eat only plants. No animal products whatsoever. While modern veganism is ethical or environmental, the practice itself is ancient. Jainism and Buddhism in India promoted plant-based eating well over 2,000 years ago. Veganism is just a stricter form of vegetarianism, and in some cases, people take it even further. Enter fruitarians. Only fruit, that's it. Some modern fruitarians, such as the Banana Girl, have gained online fame for eating nothing but bananas and water for years. While historical examples of strict fruitarians are rare, most tropical groups relied heavily on fruit. But still, the all-fruit diet raises questions about health, nutrients, and how many bananas it takes before you start dreaming in yellow. But extreme doesn't always mean healthy. Meet Don Gorski. He's eaten over 34,000 Big Macs. That's nearly 10 full cows and enough buns to stretch 24 kilometers. Not only that, but he's consumed over 2,000 pounds of Big Mac sauce, which is more than the weight of the average polar bear. Another extreme diet was popularized by bodybuilder Vince Giordano, who claimed that eating 30 eggs a day was equivalent to a mild steroid cycle. But if putting on weight is your goal, then you should try the Gym Bro Diet Go Mad, gallon of milk a day. While this diet is guaranteed to put an end to your pencil neck and brittle bones, turns out it's nothing new. This diet was actually invented by Dr. Charles Sanford Porter in the early 1900s. While modern day gym bros use GOMAD to gain weight fast, Dr. Charles claimed that a milk-only diet would cure a host of chronic diseases, from stomach ulcers to tuberculosis. Unfortunately, the results varied widely, with some patients gaining a massive amount of weight and others becoming dangerously nutrient deficient. Today, the people who claim to be on the cutting edge of nutrition are the longevity biohackers. Most of them are all promoting the same thing. Get all of your nutrients from popping pills and practice extreme calorie restriction. But turns out, this is nothing new either. Longevity diets go all the way back to the 1500s. Take Luigi Cornaro's longevity diet, for example. Luigi was a Venetian nobleman who struggled with his overindulgence in every aspect of life. So in his mid-40s, he decided to make the change and limit himself to just 12 ounces of food and 14 ounces of wine each day. And apparently it worked, because he was reported to live past 100 years of age. But of course, not being gluttonous is going to make you healthier. It's just common sense. But the way people have tried to implement this only gets stranger. In the 19th century, weight loss diets were all the rage. Lord Byron, an English poet, promoted the vinegar and raw egg diet, not only to stay slim, but to keep his pale complexion. In the 1920s, Lucky Strike ads told you to reach for a Lucky instead of a sweet, literally pushing cigarettes as weight loss tools. And then there's the cabbage soup diet, the potato-only diet, and even the cotton ball diet. Yes, some people ate cotton balls soaked in juice to feel full. Unfortunately, this kept them feeling full a little bit too long, and surgery was usually required. And of course, the tapeworm diet, where people ingested live parasites in order to lose weight. You eat as much as you want, the parasite gets fat, and you stay thin. What could possibly go wrong? Blindness, meningitis, epilepsy, dementia? That's what could go wrong. But if you really want to lose weight, the fastest way is to fast. And when it comes to fasting, one man holds the record, Angus Barbieri. In the 1960s, he fasted for 382 days, consuming nothing but water, tea, coffee, and vitamins under medical supervision. He lost over 270 pounds. But fasting is also a form of devotion. In Japan, Buddhist monks practiced Soko Shinbutsu, ritual self-mummification. Over the course of years, they slowly starved themselves, first eliminating grains, then roots, then eventually subsisting on pine needles and tree sap. The final stage involved death through starvation. Their preserved bodies still remain to this day. While some seek spiritual purity by withering away to nothing, others seek immortality by gaining the most amount of muscle possible. And if you want to gain muscle, you gotta speak, once again, to the bodybuilders. The bodybuilder diet is clean. Chicken, rice, protein shakes, and breast milk. In the early 2000s, bodybuilders began buying breast milk online, believing it was nature's ultimate protein shake, rich in fats, sugars, and growth hormones like IGF-1. It was dubbed liquid gold. There hasn't been any real science done on this, but if it works so well for babies, just imagine what it can do for adults. Now that seems pretty strange, but cultures have been eating specific foods in order to give them specific benefits for as long as we've been humans. In Tibet, people would drink yak butter tea in order to gain energy, warmth, and cure altitude sickness. Ancient Egyptians ate honey because they believed it had divine and eternal properties. They would even embalm their dead with it. Honey was also used in ancient Greece in the early Olympics, and it was thought to be a performance enhancer when mixed with wine. The Huli tribe in Papua New Guinea would eat human brains in order to pass down wisdom and generational knowledge. Many North American plains tribes would consume the buffalo tongue, as it was thought to confer the animal's bravery and endurance. One of the most popular reasons throughout history to eat certain foods has been to increase fertility, like oysters in Rome, dried dates in the Middle East, and reindeer penis in Siberia. But then came Sylvester Graham, the inventor of the graham cracker, and he thought the exact opposite. He chose to eat a diet mainly of plain whole grain bread. The blandness was intentional. Graham believed that spicy or rich foods stimulated lust and unhealthy desires. These ideas of moral purity were later adopted by Dr. John Harvey Kellogg, which eventually led him to develop the modern-day cornflake for the same benefits. People choose to eat many things because of the results it gives them, but not all diets are choices. Sometimes you're forced to eat whatever you can just to survive. Take Mauro Prosperi, for example, an Italian ultramarathon runner. In 1994, during a race in the Sahara, he got lost in a sandstorm and wandered the desert for 10 days. He drank his own urine, sought shelter in a tomb where he found bats, and survived by slicing them open with a pocket knife and drinking their blood. Even darker is the Donner Party. In 1846, 87 pioneers got trapped in the Sierra Nevada mountains by an early snowfall for 4 months. After running out of food, they boiled their oxhide leather to make a gelatinous soup. They ate bark, twigs, and eventually, each other. The first cannibalism occurred during a desperate attempt to cross the mountains. Others followed as people died of starvation. Only 48 survived. But by far, one of the strangest diets doesn't even involve food at all. Meet Michel Lotito, aka Monsieur Mange-Tout. He didn't just eat weird food. He ate metal and glass and an entire airplane. Over the course of 2 years, he consumed an entire Cessna 150 airplane, piece by piece. His stomach lining was reportedly twice the thickness of a regular human. So I guess, why not eat an entire airplane? So what does all this tell us? It tells us that food is more than fuel. It's culture, identity, belief, desperation, hope. We can eat to survive, or we can eat to die. We can eat for God, for vanity, for science, or just to see what happens. So maybe the real question isn't what we eat, but why we eat. Is it habit, culture, belief, survival, or maybe just taste? I mean, if diet's a reflection of who we are, then could changing your diet actually change you? Because there are those people that eat to live, and others that live to eat, and then there are those that eat airplanes. Thanks for watching.